Good evening, this is Fallen Star Phase 2. This is where it all begins. It's the 22nd of July 2011. Given how much effort was required to build the set, to film it all, get it all done, it almost seemed like a waste just to do one.
So we said it's going to have to be a mini-series.
But we had to gauge interest with the cast.
If we were to shoot maybe 1 or 2 episodes, would you want to be back involved in it? And I think as a rule everybody was quite...
Yeah, I was quite surprised considering how much hard work went into the first one.
Quite excited about it, I think.
And then somehow we all managed to get signed up to 5 more without us really being told.
I think Nick was quite up for it, he was quite...
Yeah.
But there was a slight problem with Nick.
I grew a beard, so they had to change his whole character. Unless it's a cure for a hangover, I don't want to know.
So we set the episode like a number of weeks later.
I mean, it's quite an impressive beard for a number of weeks.
Yeah. So we wrote another 5 scripts. We collaborated on that and some ideas.
Brainstormed and...
Yeah, did some brainstorm diagrams, you know, what do we want to put in this?
Where do we want to go?
We want something where this happens, we want something where that happens. The only one that we kind of run out of ideas for was what ended up being episode 3, which went under the working title, The One Where Nothing Happens. Exactly. People who saw it sort of expressed an interest in being in it. I think Tim wanted to be in it as a villain, or an alien or something, or moustache twirling type of character.
Absolutely.
Kept saying, can I be in it? Can I be in it? And they said, no, you're at university, you loser, go off. And so when the second one came along, I continuously again went, can I be in it? Can I be in it? And they went, yes, you can be a nerd and sit in your dark room.
I've always been a fan of Star Trek, Star Wars, sci-fi. So when I heard of the first one, I was involved with the first one. I took every opportunity I could to be involved in the next one.
I think I got dragged into it through could you give a hand to help put a bit of set up?
You know, I think it's interesting writing for people after you've cast them, rather than before you've cast them, because then you can write to their quirks a little bit. Caroline wanted to contribute to her character, so episode 3 has a whole scene that she wrote.
I was given quite a specific brief, so it was easy in that respect. I didn't have to think too much out of the box, but there was a lot of creativity. I was told that I could just run with it and do what I wanted, so it was a lot of fun. I haven't written in such a long time, and it was nice to be involved on an extra level in my character and my character's development, and also a bit in Jenny's character development.
I don't know, your character needs some therapy.
Oh yeah.
I've really damaged your character.
Yeah.
Well, she was a mathematical genius at 9.
Yeah, exactly. She's uber nerd who has issues with her, I think, possibly dead father. And yeah, just sort of babbles on about numbers not hurting people. Weirdo.
Just babble on about horses. What are you like?
I know, I wrote some really healthy female characters.
Give me the techno-babble, no problem, but when it comes to realistic dialogue, yeah.
I read it and go, I wouldn't say that.
No one human would say this.
Furthermore, it seems to be using an unusual encryption algorithm.
The larger scope of the stories they'd written meant a much bigger cast of characters would be needed, some of which would remain on as regulars.
Episode 1 has something like 5 main characters and another 3 or 4 extras. I think there's 21 people in episode 2.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Although we did use a couple of people more than once in the same shot.
Yeah.
Even I played 2 parts at one point.
Oh god, yes, you play one of the Americans in
I
the
wear
Valiant.
the American shirt.
With your back to the camera.
Yep, so you can't tell it's me.
My character is essentially the computer nerd of the ship. Now, he's the IT guy. He's a bit of a weirdo, I suppose is a good way to describe. No, he's very used to being on his own. He likes his computer games. He isn't particularly charismatic, let's say.
Sci-fi computers run themselves usually, but I thought it was quite funny to have an IT room.
And it's a big IT room, lots of computers.
And just one.
And just him sitting there, all on his lonesome.
I'd say he's exactly like me. That may have been one of the reasons that I was offered the part.
I've been involved in drama of all sorts since I was about 4 years old. I've always been very interested in the technical side though. I've done a lot of backstaging and technical, so it's so nice. This is my first experience filming, So it's been quite interesting.
We've got Whitby in episode 2.
Wonderful Emma.
It's a difficult role.
Commander Whitby is in charge of the Nottingham station, basically out in the middle of nowhere. There's quite a sparse crew. So yeah, social skills are not high priority for her, I think.
Yes, lovely. Do come this way. Come, you must be thirsty. Cup of tea, something stronger. Right, your turn.
We had some other characters. We had another engineer, so we got Pete Barrington.
Yeah, so we said, would you like to be in it? And I think he's almost jumped at the chance.
Yeah.
I remember being an engineer working on things on the bridge, but that's about as far as my character went.
I am pleased to report that my cover is still intact. Nobody suspects me.
Volgan kind of lurks around in the background, and he's got his own plans, acting covertly for the Russians, and the English and the Americans are none the wiser.
Charlotte made a return. She desperately wants to be.
She wanted to be in it, and we kind of felt a bit bad about killing the character off, and was like, "No, you can't be in it. We've killed you off."
And then I came back to life. Or no, I'm a twin sister, aren't I? So I'm back from the dead. So that's good.
You look familiar. You wouldn't happen to have a twin sister, would you?
Yes, I do actually. She's in the mining corps, though I haven't heard from her for a while.
I have one line, which is more than I had last time.
And I wanted her character to kind of carry on into the third one as well.
What would you like me to do, sir?
Nilworth was written into episode 4 as a one-off kind of red shirt character. When it transpired that we wouldn't be able to use Kevin as Humphreys in episode 3, we rewrote the script, changed the characters round, brought this Nilworth character into episode 3, so he's now introduced earlier. When we cast Andrew, that then technically introduced the character in episode 2. So this character is supposed to be a one-off, has now not only been introduced 2 episodes sooner, but has now also got his own place in the title
He's got
sequence
sort of
as
an
well.
actual partner. He's one of the crew.
Doctor Who was in a scene in episode 4. I wanted to introduce him a little bit earlier, so I wrote an extra scene for episode 3 where he's introduced.
It's just they wanted to be in more episodes. They were like, want to be in it. And so we thought, okay.
You need me as much as the Triaxian theropod needs a third asshole.
We were very lucky that we managed to find a replacement carpet.
Yes, I went and spoke to the technical manager at the Queen's Theatre and said, we've got any carpet I can borrow? So they said yes.
So this is the moment where we unroll the carpet for the first time and discover it has a massive hole in it.
Unfortunately,
it wasn't the same colour.
It wasn't blue anymore, it was black.
So a bit of post-production magic, and for the first half of episode 2, I changed the carpet from black to blue.
Yeah, loony.
Yeah.
It looks good though, it does look good. And there's at one point actually see the black carpet peel back.
If you look very carefully, maybe press pause, you can see blue carpet underneath with a hole cut into it, and the black carpet kind of rolled over the top. Wanted a strong sense of continuity, like not much time has passed.
The bit of a slight continuity error, we might say, of my hair going from, like it is now, quite long to really quite short, and then the next shot it'd be long again because we shot it all out of sequence.
That's a personal skill of mine. I can actually grow my hair whenever I want, and I can also get it short, given some preparation time and a pair of scissors.
We went with a French pleat originally, which is just, it's very pretty but very smart. In the later episodes we went with a bun because it's just much easier to do. A French pleat takes a lot longer, and we had a lot more to do in the subsequent 5 episodes.
Thankfully, Robert had the foresight to keep the set materials in storage when the set was taken down in August 2009, so he and Daniel were able to retrieve them relatively intact and reassemble the bridge set quickly, with just a lick of paint needed.
Well, this is our storage compartment where all our props and things have been for the past, how long now?
Year and a half.
I've got a bit of dust and cobweb that's come with it. That seems to be present and correct. This is our home station. Thankfully, most of it was still in one piece. So, considering it took quite a few days to put it together the first time, to spray paint it and everything, this was quite a quick job.
It'll never fly. It will, damn it.
Here it is. All the walls are up.
Now, because you were getting quite good at the computer side of things, and we had access to the green screen, some of the sets we didn't have to build anymore. You created...
More accurately, we weren't able to build them anymore.
Okay, right, more weren't able to build the sets. So you created them digitally. I mean, you actually created it really nicely, even down to the masking tape down the walls. Did the virtual masking tape fall down?
No. The briefing room appears in episode 3. Obviously, we took down the real set.
Okay, that was green screen, wasn't
Green screen as well. The digital briefing room looks a little bit bigger.
Yes, it's just a little bit wider, isn't it?
It looks a little bit wider. I'm hoping no one will notice. Or
No.
maybe the table's smaller, I don't know. Yeah. The biggest change was probably the fact that you've got a different rank pip.
Yes. It was no longer a piece of tin foil.
This does all sound jolly important, sir.
Jolly good to meet you. I'm Captain Britannic of the HMS Sebastian Knight.
I thought the costumes were brilliant. They're really well made. Mine one wasn't necessarily made specifically for me. I can't remember if it actually did up at the back or whether we just had it pinned, because I never actually turned my back on the camera.
Unlike last time when we just used plain black boards as computer screens, this time we're going to use a method called chroma key, where the computer is able to pick out a colour and automatically remove it, so it can be replaced with whatever we want, and we're just using some green paper there.
It's green screen now. Oh, we're advanced in technology.
I really feel there should be touch screen. I want to do this. But then Dan would have to put stuff on it and it would really, really annoy him.
Yeah.
I really want to do it.
With 5 episodes worth of footage to capture in the same space of time, the crew needed more efficient processes and time-saving methods.
So there were 2 main things that we did to speed up production. The first thing was that we decided straight from the off that we were going to dub everything. All the dialogue was going to be dubbed. So that meant we could do away with the microphone, so we didn't have to have a microphone operator, we didn't have to trail cables round the camera. The other biggest time saver was in actually planning every single shot. We went through the whole script, numbered them all, gave them all a code, put all that information into a spreadsheet. We could then arrange it by person. So we could say, okay, today we have Nick and Caroline available, so these are all the shots we can do. Let's just go through them in order.
Shut up!
Shooting out of sequence, someone's talking to someone else, and they could be anything up to like 2 years apart, which is kind of crazy, but there we go. It all goes in the episode together, and hopefully no one knows any difference.
I was 3 months pregnant when we filmed the scene that I'm in bed. That's an interesting fact.
But I mean, if we hadn't done that, if we hadn't planned everything out to the letter, we just would not have got it finished in time.
You've moved your second pawn.
Damn right. Eat that. The most challenging part, possibly remembering the lines.
From his previous shift, Dr. Either. Can't you just use my other 75 takes for you?
I don't think any of them have had either.
Either. That's what I'm going to say.
This is highly professional.
There we go. You'll never know.
No, that Patrick shit does it.
He has the words on the view screen. I've seen him. Oh man. In fact, the guy that's on the screen is holding the words up. Right. I've seen him do. It's a true story.
The material is hilarious. It is, and it's probably the biggest problem I had, was actually not laughing at it and trying to stay in character.
Now that we've all finished dinner, charades, anyone?
For episode 2, we acquired a digital SLR camera. It's a Canon 550, which we can shoot on memory card, no tapes, easy tripods, just little tripods rather than the big hefty ones which you need for the bigger cameras.
A degree in biochemistry, and you're still having trouble.
It shoots in HD, which is good. You get a much clearer picture out of it. We didn't actually produce Fallen Star in HD because it would have been too difficult for us to do. But recording HD is quite useful anyway, because you can do digital crops if you've got a bit that is too wide. You want to zoom in or focus on a detail. You can do that, and you don't lose any of the detail in standard def. Also means you can do much clearer green screen chroma key removal, because you get finer detail and you can pick out the green colours a lot better. So our footage looks better. The other benefit to these is you do have changeable lenses, so you know, if you've got a shot that you want to do a close-up, stick the zoom lens on and get some nice depth of field effects with it as well. So we also try to be a bit more professional, try to frame shots better, you know, try to not cut people's heads off and try not to cross over line of sight and so on. Yeah, filmmaking, it's a learning process.
Why would I be looking that way if he's over there?
Well, it's not where he is, because it's where the camera is.
If he's looking to his left, he's got to be looking at me. So I've got to look to my right. No. Tell you what, look at me.
If you were walking in order to look screen right, screen...
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
I haven't even started yet. We had a bit of a delay getting Emma's costume made.
Wasn't it? Yeah. It got made eventually, which was good.
It's interesting having big gaps in production because of how it was made. Everything on the bridge was all shot together. So, assuming we make it all the way to episode 6,
which I hope we do.
Fingers crossed. We're gonna have scenes on the bridge shot in 2011, and we're gonna have scenes in the same episode, potentially 5 or more years later.
But what can you do when you can only build the bridge once?
The set is coming down.
Possibly for the last time.
Possibly for the last time.
Who knows? Maybe they die. Maybe.
We're going to be taking some photos of the set before it comes down. So we'll be taking pictures of the walls over here, moving the chair out, taking some shots of the back door. And we can use this for special effects shots. There we go. Behind the magic. No electrical circuits in here at all.
Disappointing, isn't it?
Here we are in Studio 2, a little bit smaller than Studio 1. I guess that makes this Studio 3.
It does, it makes it Studio 3.
Well, this is very exciting because we haven't filmed for several months.
Beyond several months, I think.
I think so.
And we have our green screen back, our fabulous green screen. Splendid, I think we should get the show on the road.
Yes. This has got to be the least high-tech we've ever got.
Everything we did on the cheap. So we created everything, which was great. At one point we built a table, a massive dining room table. And what that basically is, when you take the tablecloth off, a round garden table, which is quite flimsy, and a large wooden framework, which was basically a massive pallet, covered with cardboard and a couple of sheets. But on camera it looked effective, which is exactly what we were after.
Don't mind him, he's still having guilt trips about getting his own crew killed.
The white wine was apple juice, if I remember rightly, which was fine. That was okay, that didn't look too bad. The red wine was Ribena that was about a year out of date.
And everyone else was drinking fake wine, but ours was gone off Ribena, and I put it on my lips a bit, and it was really disgusting.
It was pretty grim, but again, it looked great on the camera. Then there was the moss pudding. Flour, water, food colouring, all mixed up into this paste.
I had to eat blue goo. Everyone else seemed to manage this without any problems, but I found it really difficult, and then I got hair in the blue goo, and that made it worse.
It was pretty foul. I have to say, it tasted horrible.
For episode 3, the crew scouted for new locations to shoot some of the scenes set in previously unseen areas of the ship, such as new crew quarters, a pub and a kitchen.
Then we found this lovely, futuristic, shiny kitchen.
I think it's pretty good. And a big hob that would cater most of the ship, maybe.
Yes.
Script and shot. A regular problem.
Larger environments would require additional visual effects, so Daniel went back into the modelling suite and created a new set of virtual interiors.
You can put people absolutely anywhere. You can shrink them down, you can group people together who weren't there together, and you're constructing the shot after you filmed it. It's incredibly liberating being able to do that. Obviously there are downsides to relying on that sort of thing. You lose a certain realism by shooting on green screen, and you lose that physicality, I think, of actually being there. In episode 3 we take advantage of a few real locations. It's always more fun to shoot on real sets because you can see it there on the camera in front of you, and think you get more immersed in it. I think it's good fun.
So since episode 1, we've become a little bit more ambitious.
It's a bit more epic.
That's one way of putting it, yeah. When you first told me what you were going to do, and I was thinking, really, we can do this?
Yeah.
And then you showed me the sort of the rushes as we were going along. I was jaw dropping.
I guess if episode 1 was a learning process, then episode 2 was pushing it just about as far as we could go. I think with episode 1 we wrote the script with a lot of limitations in mind, but then for subsequent episodes we've just said, let's just write whatever we want and then we'll work out how to do it later.
Figure out. Yeah.
So we've got space battles, ships flying around, exploding. We thought the Britannic should get into a fight.
Yeah.
And we'd sort of written ourselves into a corner in the first one by saying that we're a mining vessel, Logan, we don't carry weaponry. So we found a way around that.
Yeah.
I've already made arrangements to have the weapons installed on Britannic.
There was one shot that I actually said to you, let's can we do this? And that was with the missile shooting out, coming away from the planet and then impacting on the Smigulon ship.
Something out of Pearl Harbor. But
yes, it was the opposite. So instead of the bomb going into it, it was coming the other direction. I said, can you do this?
I'll give it a go, you know.
It was just a matter of days later, I think it was, or about a week or something.
Yeah, have a look at this.
He said, have a look at this. And I was just like, wow.
Shuttle 2 reporting. We're ready to set up our surprise attack.
We introduced the shuttles.
Yeah, we had the shuttle bays always in the back of the ship.
And they put up a decent fight.
Not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, they're used as a distraction.
We've just shot Kevin's scene inside the shuttlecraft.
Yes, Flying Shuttle was an action-packed extravaganza. We built this enormous, 40-foot cast iron tungsten combine thing, and I sat in it, and it rocked back and forth. It was green screen, really. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We could use some assistance.
Acting on green screen was good fun. I've never really done that before. I did a little bit of it.
It's not a natural thing to act anyway, so what's the difference between acting with people or acting in front of a green screen?
Acting in front of a green screen made absolutely no difference to me because it was behind me.
You had an image of what was going on, what things looked like, especially with the sets that Dan created on the computer. So we had a good idea. Well, I had a good idea of how things were working. A couple of times I was completely confused. We had to draw diagrams.
I mean, we had a description of what was going to happen. So it's like, this is going to be the bridge, this is going to be the dining room, this is going to be, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, okay. But when you see it, it's just like, wow. It is, and it's totally believable that you were there.
I suppose you've got to have a certain imagination to be able to visualise things that are around you when they're not really there.
See, I'm pretty good at imagining when I'm talking to people because I don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah, it was a little disconcerting sort of acting with someone who's not actually there. So I think I was doing lines with Jenny at one point who wasn't even at that particular recording session. I believe it was Dan doing the lines to me, which was quite odd because I had to pretend he was a woman.
Acting on stage quite a lot. You end up, someone can't be there for any reason, so you do end up talking to someone who's not there and someone else is reading the lines off stage. So in that, it's transferable. But the green screen is, again, very different because, you haven't got anything around you and you've got to pretend that there's a big tree or whatever. It's interesting.
It's a lie. It's a complete fob off. It's not green at all. Oh, it's kind of beigey, whitey, kind of dirty bits at the bottom.
On November the 22nd, 2013, almost 3 years to the day since episode 1 was shown, guests attended the first screening of episode 2, finally titled The Last Outpost.
We had a few more people interested because of the hype of episode 1 and how things had progressed.
And it had been 3 years.
3 years, yes. It was a long time.
So it's kind of a big deal, and we thought, we want a bigger screen.
Jenny and All Media Works had not long built this new screen. They said, would you like to use it so you can test it? Because they hadn't actually used it before.
Yeah, we were the guinea pigs.
Exactly.
Would you like to say a few words?
It's finally arrived. The day of reckoning, the day of the premiere is here.
Creating more of a cinematic experience.
Yes, absolutely.
And
big screen, big sound, lots of chairs.
Yeah.
It's a cinema. It really was.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yes, a couple of notices though, if you could turn off your mobile phones, please.
With more episodes still to come, Daniel and Robert have their work cut out for them. But what do people want to see happen to this crew in future adventures?
In future episodes, I would like to see me painted as a green alien. Maybe just see some aliens, because I haven't seen any yet. Where's all the aliens? That's what I want to know. What does a Smegulan look like? Does he look like a man? Does he look like a blancmange? I don't know. That's what I want to see.
Yes, very funny.
Oh, a bit more adventure, some moving around. I'm sure it will happen. I'm just excited. Oh, aliens! And see some aliens.
What would I like to see happen? Well, when Volgin takes over the ship and just wins, that's going to be great.
Reg, he could be battling, aliens in the transporter room, and things could be blowing up, loads of pyrotechnics, just like Scotty,
In future episodes, it'd be nice to see Susan's legs a bit. She's mostly tucked behind the control station. A bit more background. You get a bit in the third episode, but a bit more background to her character would be good.
My character has a spin-off series, and she has lots of twin sisters, so it's, I suppose we can be twins, triplets, quadruplets. I play it all split screen, yeah.
Elizabeth, retire.
I think we need to kill off some more characters. Be a bit more like Game of Thrones. Maybe one an episode.
Yes, I would like to take a bigger part if the bigger part was possible. It's been great fun.
In future episodes, I'd like to see a little bit more romance, I think. There's been an undercurrent of burning desire, I see, but I wouldn't like to expand on that.
I could see that being difficult, having Whitby come back. Because she's on the station, unless something drastic happens. I don't know. It would be nice to play her again.
It's difficult to say what I'd want because I know exactly what's in them.
Putting some of the characters outside of their normal comfort zones and doing more interesting things with them, seeing more exotic places.
So watch this space. But if I could rewrite them, there will be pillow fights and all sorts of things. All the girls walking around in bikinis. That'd be great.
I have very much enjoyed my time at Golden Star. I just wish I was allowed to do more.
It's been lovely. I've only had one line this time.
Often when I'm walking down the street, people stop me and say, "Won't you?" And I say yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed my time, and I'm looking forward to getting back onto the set as soon as possible.
Cast and crew have been absolutely brilliant. Would you ever do it again?
Oh god, no. Well, maybe. I'm going to bloody have to, haven't I? You've written more episodes.
I've heard there's more episodes coming up, so I might get involved with that, show my face.
Always leaving wanting more.
Exactly.